Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. My name is Janine McGowan, and I design cross stitch as the blue flower. We're continuing the theme of computer issues, but I'm trying to get some lighting stuff figured out in anticipation of better video quality going forward. A perennial issue is my glasses, so I have a great ring light, and I haven't quite figured out how to use it yet without showing you beautiful, shiny, lighted rings on my glasses. So if anyone knows how to do that, that would be great. The computer issues are ongoing, and it's definitely a process, but at least I get to do a video with you this weekend, so that's great. Jumping right into stitching in action. First off, we have Heidi, who chose elements from the Happy Campers design and stitched them onto these wonderful pillows. And not only that, so she had one chart, chose these 3 elements, made 3 pillows, and now she has a full summer display, which I think is a great idea to get a coordinated set all at once if you want to do something quickly. And I really love the way that they came out. She used floss from her stash, and she used 20 count Kiwi fabric from Color and Cotton. And I think it just came out beautifully. Thank you so much, Heidi, for sharing that. Next up, we have Tudor Hare. This is stitched by Carolyn. I absolutely love the finishing on this. It looks like jute or twine cord used around the edge, which is great. And that little embellishment on the top, that just goes so perfectly. I don't even know what it is or where it came from, but it's awesome. So thank you, Carolyn, for sharing that. Then we have Moonlight Sampler stitched by Rosemary. Rosemary did a great job on this, and she used 20 count London Fog Aida from Roxy Floss Co. and the called for threads. Now I do have some fabrics from Roxy Floss. I don't know that I've stitched on them yet, but they certainly feel very nice, and I think this London Fog is a wonderful color. So thank you, Rosemary, for sharing that. And then finally, we have a weird coincidence, well, just a coincidence. Nothing strange about it. Last video, we had 2 finishes from, I believe it was Amy, Iris, and Hearts for Pam. And then Kathleen sent me exactly the same designs that she had finished, just totally differently. So I think that's super fun, and just an odd coincidence that they had both finished the same things. On Kathleen's work, she stitched the iris on 40 count Cobalt from Fiber On A Whim. She used Stash DMC and Roxy Floss Co threads. I love the color changes. One of my favorite things about this iris design is seeing the way people change it to match different color irises, which come in pretty much every combination you can think of. So that's a lot of fun, and I love that finish. Kathleen, thank you. And then the Hearts for Pam pillow is on 40 count J fabric from Picture This Plus. She says it's mostly the called for floss, and then Thundercloud Chenille from Lady Dot Create. So beautiful finishes, beautiful stitching, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing that, and I will be putting those up on the website shortly. On to what I'm stitching. I've been mostly model stitching, but I did get a little bit done on the Cicadas song sampler from Cosford Rise, and I've at least made the border go all the way around. I haven't finished all the stitching in the border. I was off 1 stitch at some point, haven't found it yet, but I just made it work. It's nature, right? It's not perfectly symmetrical all the time, and I think it's going to be just fine. I don't think even I will notice knowing that it's there, and if I do, I'm not bothered. So that's the way it's going to be. And when I do get to stitch on this, I really do enjoy it. Okay, on to Stash Spotlight. We had a tiny break there because of dogs, but moving on. This is a new tool that I got for the first time. I've never used one, and I got it because I've been doing a lot of like little tiny ornament finishes and tiny pillows, mostly for Jingle Ball, but also, Christmas ornaments, blah, blah, blah. And I saw someone using this, and I thought it would be a great idea. This is a locking hemostat. Let's see if I can show you here. So I think it's a piece of medical equipment originally. It's like these scissors, and unlike regular scissors, when you open the scissors, it unlocks, and then when you close it, I guess that is regular scissors, but it's just this tip part here. So you can see just this tip. And what I want to try using it for is when you have finished a small and you need to turn it, you can actually use this to grab the inside and then pull it out when you're trying to do your turning. So I'm really hoping this is going to work. I'm going to be giving it a trial by fire here pretty soon, so I will let you know how that goes. That's my Stash Spotlight. On to World Around. This is a fun one for me because I chose tomatoes. We have a wonderful crop of tomatoes ongoing this year, and not only do I love tomatoes, so I'm very happy about that, but I'm also happy because this is the first year that they've really just been across the board really healthy, productive plants. And it's been kind of an encapsulation of our journey, my husband and I, knowing how to garden and learning about that, knowing, how to feed the soil, how to water, all of those things to give the tomatoes what they need. And so the fact that we have lovely, healthy, delicious tomatoes this year is really kind of a stamp of approval on our gardening. It's a thing that we can point to. We learned how to do that. We didn't know before, and now we do. So it's really a treat for all of us. But learning about tomatoes, they actually originate in the Andes Mountains in South America. They were already grown as a food crop in pre-Columbian days in Mexico. In fact, the Aztecs grew multiple varieties of tomatoes, and there's a description from a European visiting the market just raving about all of these different varieties of tomatoes and all the foods that they're used in, and how much they were enjoyed. So obviously that hasn't changed, but it makes me happy to think you could probably go to a market in Mexico today and see some of the very same varieties of tomatoes and a bunch of brand new ones to enjoy. So that's pretty cool. They were imported back to Europe in the 1600s, and from there they were brought back by the Spanish. They made their way to Italy. The Italians were the first to really kind of embrace the tomato as a food. They started immediately using it in Italian food, and it's become, quite a staple of Italian food today. The Spanish didn't really do much with it, and the Northern Europeans, English, French, Germans, whatever, they thought the tomato was a lovely ornamental but probably toxic plant. So they grew it as like a flower in the garden, but didn't eat it. And to be fair, it is a member of the nightshade family, which includes certainly nightshade, hemlock, other very toxic plants. The tomato not hemlock, but belladonna. The tomato itself does have neurotoxins in the roots and the leaves. So that's kind of interesting that the plant itself is toxic, but the fruit, which is the part that we eat, is not, and is obviously delicious. Eventually, however, even the English came around to the tomato, and it began being used as food there. From there, it made its way back to North America. So I also think it's interesting that the tomato originated from South and Central America, didn't come north to America, went to Europe, and then came back in the 1700s to North America, and was then also originally an ornamental crop. But by the 1800s, I think mid-1800s, it was being used for food, and we've never stopped since. The majority of tomatoes today are grown in China. I think they have something like 36% of worldwide tomato production, but India, Turkey, and the US also contribute heavily. They are fruits, which I had mentioned, but they are classified as vegetables, and they contain vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, calcium, and lycopene. They are a favorite food of the hornworm caterpillar, which I've talked about before, and kind of the inspiration for choosing tomatoes was the arrival of this absolute unit of a hornworm that I found in our garden this past week. And I was able to watch this little gal absolutely gobbling tomatoes over a couple of days. It's the biggest one I've ever seen, and so I looked it up. I think this is the pre-cocoon stage where they're just bulking up as much as they can. And it's been a couple of days since I've seen her. I'm assuming she's made a cocoon or possibly become lunch for a very lucky bird. But I'm trying a new approach in the garden, and this was from a recommendation from our garden group, where we've designated one tomato plant as the sacrifice or the sharing tomato plant. So if you find a hornworm, move them onto that plant. They can eat to their heart's content. They can grow up to be a lovely sphinx moth, which is an important pollinator, and you still have lots of tomatoes that you're keeping safe from them, and they have plenty of food to eat. So that's been our approach. Hopefully in a couple of days we'll have a brand new sphinx moth to celebrate, but yeah, the sharing tomato is working. I like that. Anyway, that's all that I could learn about tomatoes in a short period of time. I will be out in the garden again today doing a little pruning and collecting some tomatoes, and so I hope you also get to enjoy something lovely for the fresh garden produce we get this time of year. On to questions. Last week it was about popsicles. Got lots of fun memories from those comments. Question this video is, do you have a favorite dinosaur? I was talking to Steph from Lindy Stitches about this, and I definitely do have well, I guess a favorite group of dinosaurs. I am an absolute sucker for the ceratopsians, Triceratops, but all the amazing horns and frills and bony protrusions. I love those. And we weren't allowed to learn about dinosaurs when I was growing up, so it's something that I really enjoy learning about now, and that's a real treat for me. On to best thing. I am so excited for the Jingle Ball class kits. I'm doing 2 classes, but one of them actually has a constructed element, and I've been fortunate enough to work with Matt Twist, and I came to him with a kind of like, could I do a thing and a little weird sketch, and he produced something amazing, so I am so excited. I got the first test samples, so I've been able to put one together for the first time, and I just can't wait to share that, which is coming up. I think it's in a couple more weeks that we have to post full details of our Jingle Ball classes, so I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. On to giveaway. Last video, it was the new designs. 3 winners who used the word spooky in the comments, and the winners are Leslis Waringen 6303, Cricket Studios, Christina Derrico 5159. So the 3 of you, drop me an email, give me your mailing address unless you'd like a PDF copy of whichever of my designs you would enjoy stitching. I will send that to you. Just a word of, I don't even know what it's a word of, but I have a lot of giveaway things that never get claimed, and usually I'll wait a while and kind of put them back in the rotation, but even some quite popular ones. So I think I might start in future picking maybe a winner and a backup winner, and then if I don't hear from the winner within 2 weeks, I'll go ahead and pick the backup winner and go that way. So just a heads up on that. Giveaway this video is called Good in the World, which honestly is a sentiment that I really need right now. But particularly, and this is from Pine Mountain Designs, you can see, believe there's good in the world, very summery colors. It actually is already included. This is a whole kit with the pre-stitched pillow. Now it is an Aida fabric in the center, but all you have to do is stitch the center design and the pillow is already made. So use the word good in your comment. Lots of easy ways to use that. I look forward to seeing what you have, and I will pick a winner from the next video, and apparently a backup winner as well. So on to announcements. I have been having so many computer issues, and I'm sorry. Like I said, at least we can do the video this time, but one of the side effects, because my computer's been sort of reset and wiped multiple times, is that I've lost a lot of the reminders that I rely on, which means a bunch of people made comments on the YouTube video from the last time, and I didn't see them until I was choosing a winner today. So I'm sorry to all of you who just got a little like on your comment instead of a reply that I would normally give, but I did get to read them, and yeah, I just didn't know they were there until the last minute. So that's it for my announcements. We have a puppy video at the end. I hope you're having a lovely day and a lovely weekend, and I look forward to chatting with you again in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.